Can you hear me? So Macon campus, the Gregory.
Yes, I can.
Okay, it's good. Okay, let's get started. So nice to meet you. It's been late. We just started the semester last week, but this is the first class today. So how are you doing today? Tired? No? That's good. So this is a table. It's not easy to move. So
And
this is hello?
hey, Professor Kim,
Yep.
are you sure we meet only one time throughout the week?
Yeah, this is a hybrid course. So we have just one the person to person the class per week.
Okay.
Mhm. So I'd like to introduce about the class. So using the syllabus. Okay. So this is a hybrid database principle. So I have two database courses. One is the one Urban campus. At the same time at the Macon campus. But unfortunately, the classroom is allocated for the database class at the Warner Robins, but the Macon is not. That's why I cannot have the class at the Macon campus. So using the Teams, so the students at the Macon campus, they are remotely joining this class. Okay. And then, so this is the first class I'd like to introduce using the syllabus. And then let me introduce myself. Maybe you have a total 8 students in the rows. Okay, it's not a problem. Let's see. So this is a database principle course, the CSCI 3245, and this is a full session. And then you know that this is a hybrid course. So I'm gonna have the in-person class once a week, once per week. So especially every Tuesday, we're gonna have the class. And Thursday, we don't have. But instead, I will upload the course material and the resource, PowerPoint, and so on to the D12. So double check make sure the D12. Then, okay. So, and I'm Jubom Kim. I'm an associate professor of the Department of Computer Science. Okay. So my office is over there. So, if you have any questions or comments, you can stop by during my office hours. My office hours Tuesday and Wednesday, like that, 11:30 to 3:30 on Tuesday and 11 to 3 p.m. the Wednesday. Okay. Or we are able to meet using online Teams meeting. So in that case, you can send the email. I have some questions. So can we meet online? In that case, I will send the invite so we can have a meeting. Okay. Then so Maker is good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me know if there are some problem. For example, you cannot hear my voice or the screen is not sharing. You can just let me know or leave the chat message in the chat. Okay. So this is a database principle course. So usually we'll learn about and then discuss about the principles of the database. What is the data in database and so on and so on. What kind of a database system and also SQL, SQL, so on and so on. So have you ever read syllabus before? Okay. So please read carefully the syllabus. So that's very important. And of course, cover basic principle and practice behind the modern database management system. So we learn the database modeling and then how to design database, how to create a relational database, specifically using SQL. You can create table, daily table, modify, and so on and so on. So we'll learn about the syntax. And then, yeah, just read the course description, then topics, like that. Basically, this course is based on the RDBMS, the relational database concept. There are many kind of different types of database, NoSQL or OOP or hierarchical and network DB and so on and so on. But in this course, we'll learn about the relational database, RDBMS. Have you ever heard before RDBMS? Relational database. If so, have you ever maybe heard about database management system? Yes? Okay, okay. Okay, so we'll touch, so first of all, touch the concept and terminology, and then we'll investigate deeply. And for this course, we need a textbook, this one. So when you go to the bookstore or MJ bookstore, maybe there are description. The textbook will be provided by course. So go to the course, but there is misinformation. So textbook is not provided by course. So you should have the textbook for your reference. Okay. And then not today and next week, we don't use program software, but maybe later we have a time to practice, especially using MySQL. So download this software, and later sometimes you have a chance to implement the application using Python. If you want Java, whatever, that means there's a database system, and then there is a Python code or Java code. You can create two database and then application, and then you can connect to work. Okay, so I have the like exercise practice. Okay, but not today. You don't have to install. I'll let you know how to download and install, and then set up the configuration. Okay. So maybe the most interesting part of you, I think, course assessment. Basically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 activities will be done to get grade. Okay, so first of all, start here assignment. You already finished, okay? Sample assignment and then enter quiz. I think you already did. Then you have the assignment. Okay, it can be related to coding or not, or just write an answer or draw the diagram and so on and so on. Can be different. And then discussion. So there are 3 or 4 topics are given, and then maybe you write an answer, explanation. Okay. Then we have just one midterm exam. Okay. And then next is project. Okay. So instead of the final exam, we'll have the final project. Okay. And then final reflective assignment. That means you write your comment about this course, your comment, opinion, or which part is good and which part is bad, something like this. And then there's no specific template, just you can use the Microsoft Word or whatever, any kind of text editor, and just to write your comment, then just submit to the D2L. Okay, that's it. So based on total 6 activities, people that this is the portion. Okay, so start here assignment, take 3% out of 100, and assignment total 36. So we have a total 6 assignment, and each one is 6%. Discussion 18, digital 15%, project 25, then final reflective assignment 3%. So total 100%, or 100 points. So if your score obtains above 90, your final letter grade will be A. Between 80 and 89.9, B, C, D, F, below 60. Okay. So please keep in mind those things, activity. So they are all mandatory, not optional. So if you want a good grade, you should complete all of them. But there are some students, assignment is good, finish, start over, discussion good, midterm, done, but final project didn't submit. But as you can see, final project is what? 25%. So if you deduct 25%, it will be 75. So the maximum grade will be C. Okay, so please keep in mind and then complete and then submit by the due date. Okay. Any questions so far? No? Okay. The Macon campus, any questions? Nothing? Maybe. Okay. And then communicating with instructor. So there are several ways to communicate each other. You can stop by my office during office hours or by appointment. And you can send the email. There are 2 types of email, MJ email and then D2L email. But personally, I like use the MJ email. So here, jubom.kim@mj.edu. So please send the email using this email address. Okay. And one more, I'd like to ask a favor. So when you send the email, so please include this kind of information in the subject line. For example, this is a CSCI 3245, okay? So CSCI 3245 and short description of the request. So in that case, I can be aware of, he or she is taking my database principal course. If not, I have searched over 100 students. Is taking computer science 1 or 2 or data science course. Okay, so it'll be helpful if you add the course number or course name. Okay, and then this is a schedule. So this semester total 17 module, 17 weeks. Okay, so we have, this is a topic we will cover like this. Okay. Logical database design, physical database design, and relational database model, and SQL, DB, entity relation model, and so on. So we have a total 6 assignment here, second, third, and sixth. And then the 6th discussion, okay? And this is a due date of the assignment, and then discussion, okay? And this is a meeting date, like that. And also we have one midterm exam between October 7 and October 8. So this is online the exam. So I will open the link, usually in module 9, okay? So you can click the link and then take the exam, okay? And then the project due date is the last day of the classes this semester, so November 30th. Okay, here. Then final reflective assignment due date is 11/30th. And student course evaluation, maybe we will receive from the MGA about course evaluation. So please complete the course evaluation by the December the 3rd. Okay. So about the schedule, do you have any questions? Nothing? So far so good? Are you happy? No? Okay. And the others are just policy and just read carefully. Okay. That's all. The introduction of the syllabus. Okay. Maybe four. Do you have any question at the Macon campus?
No.
Okay. Let's get started. The first, the chapter. So I'm using different materials, sometimes using these PowerPoints, the blue background, but sometimes I'd like to use another one, or sometimes mixed, okay? So this chapter objective, what is the data? What is the data or database? Or database management system, DBMS, will touch the definition or terminology. and so on and so on. Okay, and then we'll take a look at the history of data. Okay, and data storage media, then database, the management system, and so on. So I have one question. So how many database management system, DBMS are currently available? Have you ever think about that? Just 1, 2, 10, 100? A lot? Yes, a lot. There are a lot of things that with the different characteristics. Okay. I don't know the number. There are many things. Okay. So before starting database management system, what is the data? What is the data? Data mining. You have a data or something like that. You can say. In that case, what is the data? So when I ask something, the answer is on the slide. You can just read. Yeah, yeah, that's great. So the data is, there are many kinds of different definition, but one of them is what? Is a fact or figure recorded as a foundation of a technical activity. Okay, so nothing. It's a definition, data. It's a fact about thing, about object, and so on and so on. Okay, but in order to handle, we have to be careful. It should be controlled, handled by organized and then deliberate way, and then the data should be stored efficiently and then retrieved or found effectively. Okay, if you have something, you hide cabinet, the second floor. If you have something, the garage, but you forgot, it does not data. You forgot where it is stored. Okay, so data should be stored and then can be retrieved and be found efficiently and effectively. And then the most important thing is the data that I want should be there when I need it. Okay, so another key point to handle data. If so, data is a recorded fact and the figure. So what is the database? What is the database? Yeah, it's a collection of the data, especially highly organized collection of assembled data. If we have many data, different kind of, it should be organized and the types of collection of the data. So this is a database. So, but in order to handle database, including different kind of data, we need something, software, the program. It is called Database Management System, in short, DBMS. Okay, so this is a software to control the database and database environment. Okay. This is a terminology. Make sense? Good. Okay. A little bit more detail about data is a fact about thing take a look at the yellow font. So fact or figure about thing, in other words, object. Okay. The object or thing can be automobile, piece of furniture, machine, whiteboard, temperature, humidity, and what else? Human, animal, anything can be an object. Okay. Then fact is a characteristic of an object. For example, this is just a table to describe the salesperson, especially name is Baker, the company. So this Baker's, the salesperson number is 137 and city Detroit, Michigan, office number 12884, commission percentage 10, year of hire 1995, and so on and so on. This is the data, fact about Baker, right? So we are able to create table, especially relational database, to store these kind of the facts in a system. Okay. How? Using SQL language. Okay. Okay. So this is the first day. So before starting thinking about SQL and database system, modeling, logical database design, physical database design, normalization, first, second, third normalization, PCNF, and false, and so on and so on. Let's recall the history of data. Okay, just a reason you don't have to memorize all of that. Okay, for your information. So according to the literature, people have been traced the data at least past 12,000 years ago. Okay. But at that time, there's no computer, there's no machine. Only they use primitive methods to store data and to retrieve the data. One example is like that. In the Middle East, the shepherd should keep track of the number of the flocks, their flocks with the pebbles, which means in every morning, each time a sheep leaves the pen, the pebble is placed in a bag like that here. And in the evening, so when the sheep return to the pen, a pebble is taken out of the bag for each one. So what do you think? Is reasonable or not make sense? If it makes sense, way I think, right? Okay. So this is there's no computer, the machine, just counting with the pebble. Okay, this is primitive but legitimate example of a data storage and retrieval. So I will repeat many times about database system. Every time you have to consider business environment. So database system can be used to handle the data for company or government or shop or whatever, online shopping mall, and so on and so on. At that time, the business environments totally different. Government, commercial, shop, and what else? Amazon or Google. Their business environment totally different. So So first of all, you have to understand business environment, business requirement to set up database systems. Even though you have the same software, but depending on which company, we have to modify the software to fit in their characteristic of the company, or it will be a company or government agents or Amazon or Meta and so on and so on. So you have to be careful, think about business environment. Okay. So this example is perfect for this business environment, counting the ships. Okay. And then back to 8500 BC, like clay tokens or counters are used. Okay. Just read. I already uploaded this PowerPoint into detail, so open and just read for your common sense. Okay. And then later, the record keeping is developed to keep track of how much person has produced and then sold or exchange, and so on and so. Okay. Later, double entry bookkeeping originated in the 14th century Italy. Okay. I don't know exactly what is the double entry, the bookkeeping. Maybe if your major is kind of the business accounting, you be aware of this one better than me. But this is not an accounting class. Okay. Anyway, to store data, those kind of methodology is used. Make sense? Okay. And then in 17th century, people became to have an interest in device automatically. Okay, so the Blaise Pascal developed the machine and do addition and then subtractions. Okay, who is the Pascal? Have we ever heard before? Pascal is a mathematician, very famous mathematician and physicist. Okay. After that, in 1805, French, the Jacquard, they invented a device automatically reproduce patterns used in textile weaving. Okay, so this is a method of storing fabric patterns, a form of graphic data. Means they punch it, the card, and then the card, and so make up the hole, so punch it. Okay. So after that, in 19th century, Charles Babbage pick up the Jacquard concept and then invent analytical engine, but was not completed, but invent analytical engine. Later, the O'Leary's invents the machine to store data in a punched card. Okay. So using this machine, the US sensors or data can reduce the time to compile. Previously, the census data took about 7 years, but using this machine, the time, yeah, it was complete in a month. Okay, a lot of the efficiency, several years to 1 month using the machine. Okay, and this guy formed a company, what's tabulating machine company, later became IBM. You know the IBM, right? And another guy, James Powers, developed device automatically feed the card into equipment and then automatically print the results. And he established the company. Name is Unisys Corporation. Okay. And then, so before, until now, they use what? The punched card, make a hole in a card. But due to the economic development and then the technology, the development, so electric computers was introduced in the 1950s. Okay, so maybe yeah, this is a punched paper tape. There's a roll of the paper and then make a hole, punch. So you can feed the tape to the machine and the machine reads. What does that mean? Line by line. Or the block of the punch, the hole, the pattern. Okay? This is punch paper tape to store data and then retrieve the data. And then these data storage medium using the card, punched card, used until 1920, 30, and 40s. But later, another medium was introduced, erasable magnetic storage medium. Okay, so kind of the magnetic tape, like this. There's a lot of the tape, the magnetic tape, so we are able to store data. And different types of the medium is magnetic drum, magnetic disc, compact disc. Maybe you are familiar with the compact disc, CD or DVD. Maybe, okay. How about the SSD? You know, SSD, solid state drive, the hard disk drive. No? Yes? Okay. I'm sorry. Uh-huh. So I found the URL about those kind of the data storage medium. It's a punch card like that. Okay. And then punch tape is a magnetic drum. Okay. The hard disk drive, the huge, right? And then CD, floppy disk. Have you ever used floppy disk before? Raise your hand. Oh, really? The other guys, I think a young generation. Have you ever used 5.25 inch or 3.5 inch? Which one? Which type? The large one or small one? Small one. After large one. Have you ever used before? When I was freshman and when I was in undergraduate, maybe something like this. Okay. maybe diagonal, I don't know, it's a 5 to 5 inches. Right. Later, small one, 3.5 inches. It's a magnetic tape, floppy disk. Then magnetic tape and so on and so on. And nowadays, hard disk, drive, and SSD, and so on and so on. Okay. Then, so any questions so far? Just let me know. So the Macon sounds good. I have to check. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I should check you are live or not. Okay, so let's continue. You know, data has become indispensable in this business environment. So to handle and control and to manage the data, we need those kind of components. The first of all, data itself we need. And second one is application. What is application software? Process the data. Then we need hardware, machine, computers. Can be a laptop, can be a desktop PC, can be a server, can be supercom, and so on and so on. And also, the data becomes very important, crucial competitive advantage. For example, the FedEx had a significant advantage provide access to its package tracking data on its website. So the FedEx can be the leading company about the delivery. Okay? And the problem, there are pros and cons. Everything in the world, there are pros and cons. There's no 100% good, 0% bad, or vice versa. There's nothing. So the data we have is very important asset, but it's a problem for storing and then accessing data. Mainly, there are many things. Many can say that there are two. One is that the volume of data massive, a lot. For example, the Walmart not produce, that contains hundreds of terabytes data and then creates a lot of huge size of data every day. Like a YouTube, think about that. In the world, everybody uses YouTube and they upload the video. To store the video data, okay, YouTube is Google, right? Yeah. Google established like a data center in the world, across the world. Okay. So the volume of data is massive. Another one is, in other words, is assessing access problem. So, for example, if we have the computer, maybe just want to the 7, including Macon, maybe 10. If you are access that machine at the same time, it doesn't matter because that computer can accommodate maybe 100 access at the same time. But if the number of customers are 100, 1,000, even 1 million the customers are trying to the system or server at the same time, what happened? That server, the computer cannot accommodate those kind of number of the attempts. So the server will be down. Okay. So this is a concurrency problem. So large number of people access at the same time to specific the system, it caused the server down or service down and so on and so on. So in order to avoid this kind of situation, before the front end of the server, maybe we install kind of load balance, something like that. So when load balance received the access request, it distributes. First one, go there. Second one, go there. Third one, another. Fourth, another. So distribute to reduce the load, number of the access attempt. Okay, so main volume of data, and then access at the same time. Okay, concurrency problem. And additionally, there are many issues: security, privacy, backup and recovery, like that. Security. So data should be protected by theft, malicious destruction, or other malicious attempt. Okay. Maybe if you have 1 million in your bank account, if I access your bank account, steal it, ridiculous. So you should protect the money in your bank account, right? This is a security. And privacy means only authorized employee should access the correct data, right data. If you are working for HR, you should access the data related to the HR. Maybe facility, person cannot access the HR, something like that. Okay, this is a privacy. And then backup and recovery. So, if you store data, just one machine, but that machine is broken or out of order, failure, in that case, you cannot save the data, rescue the data. So to avoid this kind of situation, we distribute data. Maybe one copy in the Warner Robins, the other copy is Macon, the other one is Atlanta, and so on and so on. Okay. So hardware failure, natural disaster, we have to establish the backup system. Okay. Accuracy is more related to the database system in this course. So sometimes if you are working on a spreadsheet, maybe or maybe not, the same data is stored several locations. So there are several tabs in your spreadsheet, like Excel. In the first tab, you have like Jubom Kim and address and phone number and so on and so on. The second tab, maybe Jubom Kim, old address, the old phone number, and so on and so on. So this is a data I read me, but it's not consistent. It causes a problem. So that concept can be used in the design database system. Okay. So database system, relational database system, we should create a table, like, in other words, it's called a relation. So like a table in a spreadsheet, like this. Table, first table, and then second table, and so on and so on. And the relational means they have some relations between two tables. Another table can have another relation with this one. So using part of the data, we are able to search, store in a different table. Okay, so the duplicate redundant is a main problem of relation databases. Like this is my data can be stored in a first table, or and another my data can be stored in the second and third. So 3 times duplicate. So they should be same because it's a data about me. Address and phone number and SSN should be the same. But problem is maybe this one and this one's updated. But if my data in the first table is not updated, in that case, the data is not consistent. So accuracy means reduce the duplicate, redundancy. Okay? So when you design the database or a relation, the table, first of all, you can design like that. But due to the redundant problem, to remove those kind of duplicate the redundancy, we use normalization, the method, redesign the table. Okay, so about normalization, there are different kinds of normalization. First, second, third, BCNF, but the several kinds of normalization. Okay, so we'll learn about how to normalize a table, okay, to reduce the redundant. Make sense? It's good? Yeah. And then, okay. Skip this one. Go back. Another PowerPoint. See. So back to the beginning of the class. What is the data? Data is what? Yeah, fact, a thing. If so, what is the information? So we use this terminology, data, database system. Do you have a data? Please pass me the data about whatever. But also information system, information, blah, 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 information, blah, blah, blah. So what's the difference between data and information? We use mixed. So data is raw, unprocessed. When you gather or collect the temperature data from the sensors, this is just data, raw data. There's no meaning, just numbers. like 80, 82, 85, day by day. It can be different, right? And information is after processing, the processing can be done in different ways. Anyway, after processing, the information is knowledge derived from the raw data. So we gather the numbers from the temperature sensor, 80, 85, 82, something like that. Using, so one day, maybe 100, something like that. So after processing, we derived the meaning from the data. 80, 85, also weather is good, but 100, that day will be hot, maybe 32. That day will be cold. So we are able to derive the meaningful the context from the data. So that is called the informations. Okay. So database and system is what? Just store data, not an information system. Using data stored in a database system, we can do some processing and then can be used to determine the informations. So that is the big difference, the data and the information. Okay. And there are many kind of example database application. Just skip. So I also uploaded this PowerPoint. So download and take a look at. So the component of a database system. So there are four the major components. The first of all, users, the humans to operate the database system. Maybe later the AI can do this instead of the human, on behalf of the human. But anyway, the users is one component. And second one is database, including data, okay? The collection of the data. Third one is what? Application. If you have a MySQL server in your company, in order to access that server, we need a program application coded by Python or Java or C++, any kind of program language. You have to make application. Then database, DBMS. So those are the main components of database system. Make sense? And what is the SQL? The structured query language. Okay. Recognize standard language used by all relational database. So the relationship between those four components like that. The left side, user trying to access data in a database, they should use application. And the application sends the request to the management system. Okay. The management system creates, search, delete, updates, and so on and so on of the data. Okay. And between application and the DBMS, the SQL is used. Okay. So for example, in a website, Amazon, I'd like to search iPhone 16. You just type the keyword iPhone 16 and press enter, right? The browser is kind of an application. Sent iPhone 16, the message including iPhone 16 keyword. and send to the where. Oh, it's time to wrap it up. It's a battery. So the DBMS management system convert your the request into the format of the SQL type. Okay, for example, select or blah 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 something like that, and DBMS search -16 in the database. Okay, and then vice versa. Okay. Just skip. So the functions of the DBMS, we are able to create a table and database and create a structure like index, and modify data, search data, and what else? Control concurrency, and so on and so on. So we'll learn how to do those kind of the functions using SQL. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the different types of the database system, Microsoft Access, so personal the database system. Okay, when you install a Microsoft Office package, that one is installed. Okay. And another one is Microsoft SQL SQL Server. Okay, and another one is Oracle. So Oracle is a company, the database company. And another one is MySQL. So basically, I'd like to use that MySQL, that software. Okay. Maybe I think this machine is not does not have that one. So maybe you should install that one, download and install. Maybe tomorrow, next week, we will that. Uh, maybe just next. About those kind of pages that I skip is will run the next the chapters. Okay. So today I'd like to just mention about the basic concept and the terminology and key point. Okay. So relational database, relational model. Also, I'd like to mention more detail. Okay. The last one, like show the short the video. So this video explains about types of different database systems. Okay. So it takes about less than 5 minutes. So this is the lesson today. Just take a look at and for your information. Okay. The speaker should be no 6%. My God.
Did he disappear?
Yeah, I think he got off.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So the problem is my laptop battery is gone. So all of a sudden, my laptop is shut down. So today, the class is over. So I will show the video about the types of the database system. So I will show next class next week. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so do you have any questions?
Not today. No.
Okay, so, okay, thank you for joining today and then have a great day. So if you have any question, just send an email, okay? Or whatever. You can stop by office hours, during office hours.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm sorry
Oh, no
for
problem.
I didn't expect.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.